How I stopped wasting money at the airport, and why almost everyone around you is still getting ripped off seriously. Have you ever looked around an airport and wondered why everything feels like a trap designed to drain your wallet? I mean, $8 water bottles, $25 sandwiches that taste like cardboard, and those last-minute upgrade offers that sound fancy but quietly rob you blind, yeah? I fell for all of it, and if you're honest, you probably have too. But what changed everything for me was one trip where I decided, not this time. And what I discovered literally saved me hundreds of dollars on a single journey. And today, I'm breaking it all down for you step by step so you never walk into an airport unprepared again. Here's the deal. The moment you step inside an airport, you're entering what I like to call a controlled spending zone. Everything is designed to make you spend fast and think later, and the first trap hits you before you even realize it. Food, oh man, airport food is the biggest scam in travel. And I'm not even exaggerating, because they know you're stuck, you're hungry, and you don't have options. So they jack up the prices like crazy. But here's what I started doing instead. And it's so simple, you'll be mad you didn't do it sooner. Eat before I get to the airport, or I bring my own snacks. And I'm not talking about anything fancy, just a sandwich, protein bars, nuts, whatever you like, because once you're past security, you'll thank yourself when you see people paying ridiculous prices while you're chilling, stress-free, eating your own food like a boss. And don't even get me started on water, because this is where airports quietly make a fortune. They take something that's basically free and turn it into gold. But here's the hack that changed everything for me. Carry an empty reusable bottle. Get through security and fill it up at a water station. Boom. Instant savings every single trip. And yeah, it sounds basic, but most travelers still don't do it, which is wild too. Now let's talk about something even sneakier. Currency exchange counters, because this one hurts, especially if you're traveling internationally. Those bright, friendly counters. Yeah, they're not your friends. They offer some of the worst exchange rates you'll ever see. And I learned this the hard way, losing a chunk of money for no reason. But now, I never exchange money at the airport. Instead, I either withdraw from an ATM at my destination or use a travel card with low fees, and just like that, I keep more cash in my pocket where it belongs. Now here's where things get really interesting, because airlines themselves have mastered the art of upselling. You know those moments when you're booking your ticket and suddenly it's like add a bag, choose your seat, priority boarding, extra legroom, and before you know it, your cheap ticket isn't cheap anymore. And I used to fall for this every time, thinking I needed all those extras. But here's the truth. Most of it is optional, and once I realized that, I started skipping the unnecessary add-ons and only paying for what I actually needed. And guess what? My travel costs dropped instantly. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever paid for seat selection just because you were scared of getting a bad seat? Yeah, same here. But then I tested something. I didn't choose a seat. I let the airline assign it, and 9 times out of 10, I got a perfectly fine seat without paying extra. And that's when it hit me. They're selling you fear, not value. Now let's move to baggage, because this is another area where people lose money like crazy. Overweight bag fees, extra bag charges, it adds up fast. But here's what I started doing. I pack smarter, not heavier. I roll my clothes. I use packing cubes, and most importantly, I weigh my bag before leaving home, because paying a little attention beforehand saves you from paying a lot at the airport. And trust me, there's nothing worse than repacking your suitcase on the airport floor while everyone's watching. I've been there. Not fun now. Here's a tip that most people completely overlook: timing. Because when you arrive at the airport, matters more than you think. If you get there too early, you end up spending more time and money wandering around shops and food courts. But if you time it right, you minimize that window where you're tempted to spend, and that alone can save you more than you realize. Now let's talk about airport Wi-Fi, because this one is sneaky. Some airports offer free Wi-Fi, but others push you toward paid options. And if you're not careful, you'll end up paying for something you could have gotten for free. So always check if there's a free network, or use your mobile data if it's cheaper. Small move, big difference, okay? Now here's something that blew my mind when I figured it out. Airport lounges. Because most people think lounges are only for rich travelers or business class passengers. But that's not true. There are ways to access lounges for a fraction of the cost, or even free through credit cards or day passes. And once you're inside, you get free food, drinks, Wi-Fi, and a comfortable place to relax. So instead of spending money at overpriced airport restaurants, you're actually saving money while enjoying a better experience. Crazy, right? Now let's talk about duty-free shops, because this is where a lot of people get tricked. They see duty-free and assume everything is cheaper. But that's not always the case. In fact, many items are the same price or even more expensive than what you'd find outside. So here's my rule. Only buy something if you already know its price and you're sure it's a good deal. Otherwise, skip it, because impulse buying is exactly what they're counting on. Now, here's a big one: transportation from the airport. Because this is where travelers often overpay without even realizing it. Taxis at airports are usually more expensive, and if you're not careful, you'll end up paying way more than you should. So what I do now is simple. I compare options: ride-sharing apps, public transport, or pre-booked rides. And I choose the one that makes sense for my budget. And just like that, I avoid another unnecessary expense now. Let's get real for a second. The reason airports are so expensive isn't just random, it's psychology. They know you're in a rush, you're stressed, and you're more likely to make quick decisions. So they design everything to take advantage of that. But once you understand the game, you can play it smarter. And that's exactly what this is about. Now here's something I want you to do. Next time you're at the airport, pause before you buy anything. Just take a second and ask yourself, do I really need this? Or am I just reacting? That one question can save you more money than any hack I've shared so far. Now I'm curious, what's the biggest amount you've ever wasted at an airport? Drop it in the comments because, trust me, we've all got stories. And if this is helping you even a little bit, hit that like button and share this with someone who travels. Because they need to see this now. Let's keep going. Because there's one more thing that changed everything for me, and it's mindset. I stopped seeing the airport as a place to spend money and started seeing it as a place to pass through efficiently. And that shift alone made a huge difference. Because once you're not in spending mode, all these traps lose their power. So next time you're at the airport, remember this: eat before you go. Bring your own snacks. Carry an empty water bottle. Avoid currency exchange counters. Skip unnecessary add-ons. Pack smart. Time your arrival. Use free Wi-Fi. Consider lounge access. Don't fall for duty-free illusions, and choose your transportation wisely. Do all that, and you'll not only save money, you'll travel smarter, smoother, and with way less stress. And honestly, once you start doing this, you'll never go back to your old habits because you'll see the difference immediately. And that's the goal. Not just saving money, but taking control of your travel experience. Oh yeah? That's how I stopped wasting money at the airport. And if you made it this far, you're already ahead of most travelers out there. And trust me, your wallet is going to thank you for it.